Okay, so good news for any Tony Yoka fans watching. I know a few of my subscribers are very much so. So he's actually going to be making his ring return on September 10th against a fighter called Peter Milas. Now, he's not a very well-known fighter. He's actually currently listed as inactive on BoxRec. The last fight he had was actually against a guy called Johnny Muller at the back end of 2019. So the time this fight comes around, this opponent's going to be out the ring for almost 2 years. So I'm certainly not expecting any issues for Yoka as far as the opponent is concerned. But the main talking point will be that the fight will actually be scheduled to be in America. So Yoka's making his American debut after 10 fights. So as I mentioned in previous videos, still very much a prospect, despite obviously his amateur and Olympic achievements. We've got to look at these guys obviously as professionals. And I'm very excited now. Obviously he signed with Top Rank last year. I believe he was scheduled to go over to the States last year and fight, but obviously with the pandemic, that obviously delayed things majorly. So yeah, this is very exciting. Obviously September 10th on a Top Rank show. And this is when you really see whether the prospect has the stones to make it. Now, we've seen a lot of fighters go over to America and crumble, even world champions. There's been a few recently, I don't need to name names. So obviously if Yoka can get through this, it may not seem like a big deal, but this very much is. You've got to understand that there's going to be a lot of eyes on these shows. There'll be a lot of eyes on Yoka. In all fairness, he's obviously not going to be very well known out in the States. Obviously, a lot of Americans, they follow their own fighters very, very closely. They're not aware of too many fighters outside of their own country. Obviously, you've got to just look at the volume of fighters they have over there. So he'll obviously be an unknown going out there, despite all of his achievements. But obviously, the majority of people watching this will obviously know who Yoka is. So I think we've all got an interest in seeing where this young man goes in the future. Now, I've said in a previous video that I very much wanted his next fight to be against a Filip Hrgovic for the IBF final eliminator. That is obviously now not going to happen. Hrgovic hopefully will have a fight announced very, very shortly. But I'm still happy that Yoka's out. Like I said, the opponent is not going to cause this guy any issues. The only people on his record that I personally recognise is Kevin Johnson and Francesco Pianetta, who Tyson Fury fought as one of his comeback fights. So not a very standout record. He's actually a Queensbury fighter. And like I said, he's been inactive for 2 years. So this should be very easy as far as the fight's concerned. But it'll just be down to how well does Yoka fight when he's away from home. And I hope this is the first of many fights that he does have in America. Because I think once you make that transition over to the States and you start becoming a name, you have to stay out there. That is where you'll get the most attention and you'll get the most spotlight on you. So really, really excited. Obviously, really want to know obviously what you guys think as well in the comments. Obviously, a lot of guys who are Tony Yoka fans, we've spoken before. Where do you see him going after 2021? He obviously won't have another fight this year, obviously. Highly unlikely there'll be another fight within 3 months. So probably see him out again, if all goes well, at the start of 2022. So who do you want to see him fight next? Do you see him fighting potentially for a world title at the back end of 2022? Or do you see it looking potentially for at a 2023 sort of date when, Yoka will be looking at around 30 years of age? So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Obviously, smash the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, then please subscribe. Cheers.